Maybe a wee bit of a taboo subject we're talking about now, sex and disabled people. Is that a taboo? Now there is a Hollywood film, it's out tonight, if it was called The Sessions.
Yeah, it's in cinemas tonight and it's tackling this very subject.
Hi, Mark O'Brien.
The actors John Hawkes and Helen Hunt there, and that film based on the true story of a guy called Mark O'Brien. Mark O'Brien was a poet and he was paralysed from the neck down due to polio, and then he hired the surrogate to lose his virginity. So that's the basis of that film.
So that's got us on this morning talking about the sexual needs of disabled people, and is there help out there? Is it needed? Well, we've got former Madame, that's Becky Adams. She says yes, it is, and she's planning to open the UK's first brothel reserved exclusively for disabled clients.
Mik Scarlet disagrees. Why do you disagree, Mick?
Well, I think the thing is, I don't necessarily say that disabled people shouldn't visit prostitutes. It's all about choice. I'm a big pro-choice person. But I don't like the idea of there being a special disabled people only brothel, because it segregates us from the experiences of the rest of the world. It says to everybody that in some way we are special, we're different. And it also kind of says that we are so needy for this, that we should have something that possibly the rest of the world can't actually have at the moment.
Right, hear what you say there, but Rebecca, you're going to say I've got tarts with hearts here, basically, aren't you?
I would actually first like to say we're obviously in agreement that people with disabilities should have access to sexual services or sexual freedom and expression. So we're obviously in agreement with that. But can I just ask you, have you ever visited a brothel yourself?
No.
Right, so this I think is where you're slightly under a misapprehension, because over the past 20 years I've probably owned probably 60 different premises that we've run brothels from. Now, out of those 60, only 2 of them could we actually get a disabled person into. So actually my argument is nothing to do with disabled people should be treated differently. It is just facilitating where there's a difficult with communication and accessibility.
Access.
Absolutely.
Surely it's not just that. I mean, you're saying you want to
But the thing is, though,
exclusively...
Rich, legally, under the law, if you open a business, right, after 1993, if it's not accessible, so you want to open a legal business and say, well, it's all right because it's got a ramp and a lift. Well, it's either, if you want a campaign to say brothels should be legal, fine, that's a completely different argument. But if you say that you want to make this brothel some way more okay because it's got a ramp and a lift and it's got a hoist and it might be able to deal with disabled people.
Okay. Well, you could say it's more okay, or you could say it's specialist, it is designed, and there may be certain... I mean, can you explain why you would need to use the ramp and the lifts and that sort of thing? And incidentally, I just want to point out the legality of all this. You reckon this will be legal because it will be run on a not-for-profit basis?
No, that's not the reason that it would be legal. Just to take the legalities to start with, it's going to cost an awful lot of money to get this going because of the specialist equipment that we're going to need. We're not asking for any charity funding or any taxpayers' money. We're now being represented by Max Clifford Associates. Max is really generously giving to us and raising funds for us. So we're completely financed by private money. OK, so the way that we are going to make the thing more legal, paradoxically more legal, is the fact that we are actually going to be operating as almost like a sexual freedom clinic. So it's very, very structured. It's run by teams of fully trained professionals. And as you'll see in the sessions, you know, it's not as with a traditional brothel that you think, oh, it's lunchtime, pop in for a quick half an hour with a busty brunette and you pop out again. If you wish to come to see us, then it's all very, you know, properly sort of professional, from using psychotherapists, sex...
I mean, this is annoying you. I mean,
this subject really annoys me because what it does is it says something really damaging about what it is to be disabled. The media always focuses on the tiny number of disabled people that do have issues with finding love and having a sexual experience, but the majority of us do not have a problem. And well, we do, you know, there is social stigma still attached. You know, it takes a strong person to go out with someone that's disabled because they're going to go back to their mates and their mates are going to go, what are you with them for? But it's still we never hear about people like me that are married and have a happy relationship.
You know, it's always
I
you say that there's only a
disagree.
tiny amount of people who are not. Like, you've met your lovely wife this morning as well, and you've been disabled all your life.
All my life, yeah.
Haven't you? So you would say that the majority of disabled people would have your willpower and your confidence to do what...
No, I'm not saying that they would be as confident as me, but I've had all the same experiences that any disabled person has. I went into a wheelchair at 15, although I was disabled from birth, and my spine collapsed, and it took away the ability for me to walk. It also took away the ability for me to have erections. So I completely understand what it is like to suddenly think, that's it, sex is over for me. But yet, because I had good experiences, and those experiences were with people I was in love with, I learned that I could be sexual. And I then went on and had very, you know, a long and happy sex life. I met my wonderful wife, I married her, we are madly in love, and I'm very lucky to have met her.
Well, all that's wonderful, and I'm so pleased for you, and it's lovely. But if there are disabled people watching this today and saying, well, that's great, Mick, and good for you, and I'm really happy, but I haven't found that, and I'm now 35, and I've never had a sexual experience, and I'm starting to feel like I probably never will. What is wrong with what Becky's offering, which is sensitive to the needs of someone with disabilities?
You're also able to communicate that. I mean, so many of our customers have virtually no communication at all. And with a session with Paradoxes, it could take, sometimes it'll take us up to 2 months to arrange something with them, maybe with their parents, with their carers, and make sure that we find the right thing. And also, it's a lot about educating, and Mick's completely right. I have groups of mothers who get in touch with me and say, we are a support group for young men with autism. We would like to come to Paradoxes, and we would like to have a group session with all us mums, and we would like you to help us find girls in their sort of late 20s who can work as a group with all our lads and educate them into how to act appropriately in the dating game, how to chat
Does this
up
problem
girls.
happen in reverse? Do you have to recruit male prostitutes for women?
Well, we
Is there a
have
market?
we have lots of disabled ladies who come to us, and we have couples with disabilities.
Last word,
where one
Beck.
person is.
I know
has a
loads. I have loads of
disability.
disabled friends who also have massive problems with communication. It's one of the ways that their impairment affects their abilities, and almost all of them are totally against this idea. Some of them are in relationships and some of them aren't. And the main reason why is because they truly believe that at the end of the day, having your first or sexual experience with someone you have paid is not having a real equal experience. And it will leave them feeling empty in the long run.
Guys, thanks for your views. Thank you both very much indeed for putting those.
Yeah, interesting, and love to know what you think. As always, it's what you think too on the show. And Matt's in the hub today, so do get emailing and let him know. Still to come.